Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Code Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation today is the 25th Sabad of Guru Arjan Pacha, the 5th Nanak, in the Rag Sorat. Let's begin with the recitation. Sorat Mahalla Panjwa, Prabh ki Saran sagal pੈ lathe, dukh bin se sukh paya, dayal hua par brahm swami, pura satgur tyaya. So, Prabh ki Saran, Prabh ki Saran. This is an active verb. It is saying that by coming into the refuge of the self, this inner sanctuary, sagal pੈ lathe, all fears are removed. Dukh bin se, suffering, distances itself from you. Sukh paya, equanimity, peace, comes over the mind. Dayal hua par brahm swami. The Master, the Supreme Master, is merciful. Pura satgur tyaya. When I followed the instructions of the true enlightener. So this is a movement from fear to freedom. Sagle pੈ nase. Taking refuge is obviously not a physical act, but it is a deep inner surrender. It is an act of trust, because the ego that fears everything doesn't trust. Your inner being, though, the soul, does trust. So this is actually a reframing, where the anxious mind, the fearful mind, is steadied through focus on a higher truth. In the Rahau, Guruji says, Prabh Jiyo, addressing the self, honorable self, if you will, Tu mero Sahib Data, you are my master and the giver of enlightenment. Kari Kirpa Prabh Deen Dayala, Gun Gavo Rangi Rata Rahao. Kari Kirpa, show mercy, or if you were to show me mercy and your compassion, then I may sing praise to you, that I may have the capacity. So what this is suggesting is that even the singing of praise from a non-egoic perspective is an act of grace. So you are my master. This is devotion and gratitude. So you are my master, you are my giver, already talks about a self-transcendent identity, meaning there is this inner integration that is now happening. So this is a stage in the development where our personal boundaries of the ego expand to include higher values, larger meanings. So that is what it means to say Rangarata, imbued with love, is well-being. So this is a therapeutic effect that you get from articulating gratitude and meaning. He goes on in the second verse, Satgur naam nidan dridaya, Chinta sagal binasi. Satgur, the enlightener, implanted, Dridaya, implanted the treasure of that wisdom of Nam and destroyed all my anxieties. Kari Kirpa, apne kar leena, man vasya abhinasi. So this imperishable one made me its own. So fixing the mind on something eternal is what dissolves anxiety. This is Nam Dridaya, is the replacement of fragmented fear-based identity with an integrated center. That is what wisdom does. And once the mind holds on to something non-transient, abhinasi, worry begins to lose its grip. So basically you are restoring an inner sovereignty, a restructuring, reprogramming core beliefs and automatic thought patterns consciously, literally rewiring your neural networks through constant contemplation on the word. And then what happens in the next stanza? Taako biganana ko lagge. Taako, to the person who engages in this process, biganana ko lagge, there is no obstruction. Jo Satgure apne rakhe, because it is now under the protection of the Guru, of wisdom. Charan kamal base hriday antari, amrit har ras chakhe. Charan kamal base, the lotus is now blooming in that heart. That process has happened. So those who align with this process through the enlightener become immune to inner disturbance. Biganna ko lagge. Obviously, this doesn't mean that you won't have any external problems or that they will vanish, but the fact is that they will no longer be able to destabilize you. So resilience is what happens from this inner devotion. And Charan Kamal is awakening, a metaphor for centering that happens. And in conclusion, Kari Seva, Sevak Prabh apne, Kari Seva. Serve the self, by serving the self, Prabh apne, Jin man ki ich pujai. It fulfills the desires of the mind. Nanak Das, the servant Nanak, ta ke balihari, is beholden to that person, Jini Puran Paj Rakhai, who have preserved their honor, their dignity as humans. So this is longing fulfilled, not in any material sense, but a deeply fulfilled inner satisfaction. And it affirms to you divine reciprocity. The seeker serves, the divine honors the sincerity of the heart. You see? Puran Paj Rakhai. It responds. That's the idea, that when we align our will, the universe reflects back grace. So this ich puji is not desire fulfilled for things, but an inner yearning for meaning, wholeness, belonging. That is what comes into play. So in practical terms, it talks about sanctuary. Well, we have to establish our own sanctuary. So we have to create, as Gurbani teaches us, a daily sanctuary moment. You have to set aside time consistently for quiet reflection. And you have to identify the transcendent anchor. And in this case, it is the Guru. And we practice surrendering to the Guru through Gurbani. we establish this mentorship relationship, mentor-mentoree relationship with Gurbani. And Gurbani, in turn, this interaction rather, develops this cognitive restructuring that happens. Intent, practice, putting aside of time, all of this becomes necessary. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.